Hey, history fans, have you ever heard about a war that was over before you could even finish a sandwich? I'm talking about a war so short, it only lasted about 38 minutes. That's right, you heard me correctly, 38 minutes. This wasn't some small-time schoolyard brawl, this was a real war with cannons, warships, and everything. The year was 1896, and the battlefield was the island of Zanzibar, a place known for its spices and beautiful beaches. But on this day it was the setting for the shortest war in recorded history, the Anglo-Zanzibar War. This war was so short, some historians argue whether it even deserves to be called a war. But don't let the length fool you, this brief conflict tells us a lot about the power dynamics of the time and the reach of the British Empire. So buckle up as we dive into this fascinating historical footnote. To understand this lightning-fast war, we need to understand the players involved, the mighty British Empire and the Sultanate of Zanzibar. Now, the British Empire was like the big kid on the block in the late 19th century, controlling a vast chunk of the world. Zanzibar, on the other hand, was a small island nation off the coast of East Africa, famous for its spice trade. For a while, the British had been trying to increase their influence over Zanzibar. They saw the island as a strategically important location for trade and for keeping an eye on the East African coast. The relationship between the two was complicated, to say the least. Zanzibar had been under British protection for a while, which basically meant they had to follow certain rules set by the British. But the Sultan of Zanzibar, the ruler of the island, wanted to maintain his independence and autonomy. The stage for the shortest war was set when the pro-British Sultan of Zanzibar, Hamad bin Thuwaini, died suddenly in 1896. Now, according to the treaty with the British, the new Sultan had to get permission from the British consul before taking the throne. However, a fellow named Khalid bin Bargash, who was not exactly a fan of the British, decided to declare himself Sultan without their approval. He barricaded himself inside the palace with his supporters, ready to fight for Zanzibari independence. The British, of course, weren't too thrilled about this act of defiance. They saw Khalid as a threat to their interests in the region. They issued an ultimatum surrender by 9 o'clock a.m. on August 27, 1896, or face the full might of the British Navy. Section 4. The Ultimatum, the Refusal, and the Bombs Away. The morning of August 27th arrived, and Sultan Khalid, perhaps underestimating the resolve of the British or overestimating his own strength, refused to step down. At precisely 9 a.m., the British warships anchored in the harbour unleashed their firepower on the Sultan's palace. The bombardment was over almost as soon as it began. The Sultan's palace, along with his meagre defences, crumbled under the relentless barrage of British shells. The Sultan himself managed to escape and fled into hiding, but his reign and the war were over in less than an hour. Section 5. The Aftermath and What It All Meant. The Anglo-Zanzibar War, despite its comical brevity, had lasting consequences. It solidified British dominance in the region and served as a stark reminder to other nations of the empire's military might. Zanzibar effectively became a British protectorate, its days of even nominal independence over. The short conflict also highlighted the brutal realities of colonialism and the vast power imbalances between European empires and the rest of the world. The Anglo-Zanzibar War, although a mere footnote in the grand narrative of history, continues to fascinate us with its sheer absurdity. It stands as a testament to the unpredictable nature of conflict and the far-reaching influence of empires, even in their seemingly insignificant actions.